alongside another edition of The Hot Seat with yours truly, Joanne Lewis, a program produced by the National Alliance. And today, I have a very interesting candidate. We are talking about candidate number 3, none other than Mr. George Pantophlet. George, welcome to the studios.
Thank you, Joanne, and again, thank you for having me on this program. I believe we're going to have some fun today.
Of course.
And I just want to say good afternoon to the viewers, and just stay tuned in and let us see what we have for you.
Okay. Well, George, everyone comes here, they've been interviewed by me, and I must ask, I want the public to know who the candidates are. Some people know of them, you know, everybody probably know who is George Pantophlet, but just a little background of who you really are and how you got started. That would be nice for the listeners.
Sure, you want to go there? We got 15 minutes for that?
Yeah, you go right ahead.
Yes, okay, of course. My name is George Pantophlet. I'll mention the middle name, Cleophas.
Cleophas.
Yes, was born on the island of Aruba. My dad was the late George Raphael Pantophlet, better known as Battling Siki. He was born in St. Martin. And my mother was Mariana Illich. She was born in Dominican Republic but lived in Aruba for many, many years. I came to St. Martin at the age of 19 and, of course, fell in love with the island. And my dad and I switched roles because he loved Aruba and I loved St. Martin. So I stayed here and he stayed down there, you know. So.
Okay.
But I'm married, a wife, 3 children, 7 grands and 1 on the way. By next month, she'll be 8. So I believe the Pantophlet legacy is continuing.
Okay.
But my passion has been always people. As a matter of fact, if I have to be honest, I never had the intention of getting involved in politics. But what I always place first and mostly in front is the issue of people.
Right.
And just to fast forward a bit, because I said I can need more than 15 minutes to tell about my background, I was approached by my leader, Mr. William Marlin, in order to get involved in politics. And that was in 2002. I told him, you know, just hold on a while, and I'll think about it.
Before that, what were you doing?
My first job, actually, I worked for Denfield Night Accounting for something like 3 months. But again, you know, being young and what you would say, inexperienced, after 3 months, you know, most of the time you want to work and make a lot of money right away, which is not the case. I left the job and I started working with Avis Car Rental for about 5 years. I worked Mullet Bay for another 5 years. And then in 1980, I saw an ad in the papers concerning a vacancy at the Immigration Department. Right. So I applied, and I was employed April Fool's Day. I said, make sure it's not April Fool's Day indeed. But I started working there from 1980 until about 2003, and when I got involved in politics.
Okay.
And that's where I met, as I said, my passion, which was people and so on. And I felt that the most important thing for any individual is how you treat the other individual. And I always said, it's important, I'll treat you the way I want you to treat me, and from then on, that's history. But getting back to my leader, Mr. William Marlin, I call him boss most of the time. As I said, he approached me in 2002, and I said, I'll get back to him. And what I did, Joanne, I got on my knees, I started praying, because fact is, I heard that politics is a nasty game and so on, and people change and become so on. And so I said, you know something, make sure that if that is what you want to get involved in, you have God first and foremost.
Do it with a clean heart.
Yes. And December 31st, 2002, I was at home. It was about 10:30. My wife and daughter at the time were at Maho looking at the fireworks. And I was home just lying in bed looking at TV and Trinity Broadcasting Network.
Yes.
And I heard 2 things in my spirit, family and politics.
Wow.
So what I did, I contacted my sister, Patricia Pantophlet, the late Patricia. Or the powerhouse Patricia. She was my very strong support, you know what I mean, and always encouraging me. And she said, Brucha, you should call me, you know, Brucha, we're going to get together with the family. So we had a meeting at the Pantophlets' home in St. Peter's, and there about a point of my family came out, because had they all come out, St. Peter's couldn't hold them. And it's there they said, look, if you're going to go into politics, we're going to support you. And from then, that's where I went forward, and that's where I'm up to today.
Well, you talk about 2003, right? That's the first time you got involved in...
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How has it been from 2003 to now?
Put it this way, many changes. I've learned to understand that the issue of politics, especially when it comes to dealing with people, make sure that when you discuss some things with them that you are honest, you are open with them. I remember in 2000, and I think it was 6 or 7, I was approached by an individual. I wouldn't call his name because he's deceased now, but he's well known. And I was invited into the Holland House. And he said that the DP party at the time wanted some candidates and so on. He was thinking about me. That's before I got into politics. And he said, well, let us talk. What do you think about it? I said, look, I said, if you offer me 10,000 guilders, I said, St. Martin has to get half. He said, what do you mean? I said, look, I said, the people must benefit from everything that I do in politics. And I said, following that, I said, and I took out my keys, I said, look, I said, I will not promise you what I can't give you. And he said to me, you cannot be a politician. And I got up and I walked out. It was in 1990 before I was asked. So what I'm saying, from then to now, things have changed tremendously. St. Martin is not what it used to be in the past, but I've always learned this: people will be people, and they know when you're being honest with them. I don't know when you're trying to give them, you know what I mean? As you say, 6 for 9. And I've tried to maintain the relationship with them no matter what. I make sure that when I discuss with them, I tell them exactly how it is, or if they don't know exactly what it's about, how to get information, I tell them where to go and get the information. Politic-wise, I'm trying to understand why some of our people, vote for certain individuals who you can see. You can see that they are not for the people.
Right.
When it came to St. Martin, Joanne, the first thing I noticed on Front Street, I said, where are the libraries? Where are the bookstores? You know, where are these things? And I said, wait a minute. A Dutch saying, in the London blinden is één oog koning. In other words, in the land of the blind, one eye is king.
Right.
And what that former politician did was to keep our people blind in order to control them. And I'm saying, no, that should not be. And why I was asked by the leader William Marlin, I saw, then it was SP, but now National Alliance, someone who, if you look at his track record, it has always been people, education, infrastructure, everything always towards people, housing, people. And that's what my passion is. So I didn't have any difficulty at all, becoming part of the National Alliance and remaining.
Right.
You know, no one comes and asks me to jump ship, and I've never done it because, exactly, they say, yes, I am too loyal to William. Yes, I'm loyal to someone who I see have the people's interest at heart. And today now, as I look at National Alliance, where we're moving, we have a lot of work to do. We got only 4,000 votes last election. About 6,000 persons did not vote. And that has me a bit concerned because the fact is, saying you're not going to vote because of the conditions or the things you have seen is not the way to go. It's not the answer. If you want a change to make it, you have to vote. If I jump ship, you voted for me. That's how I got in the first place.
Right.
So therefore, if you want somebody who is stable, who's consistent, then vote for that individual. And right now, the National Alliance has a team. And John, I'm proud of the team because when I look at what we're doing right now, I mean, with the young ones that are coming in and so on, how the energy, the interest is there right now. I'm saying, give us 4 years. Give us 4 years. Alliance, full-fledged, no coalition. Some of them are saying 10 seats and so on. That's difficult, I'll be honest. But I would like to see us get at least 8 seats. Why? I want full mandate.
Well, they say shoot for the stars.
I would say shoot for the universe. Because the issue is, Joanne, I want us to have the full mandate.
Right.
Coalitions, we have a coalition right now. Is it functioning? Yes. Can it be better? Yes, much better. Because the fact is, you're hearing this is my minister. No, it's not my minister. It's a coalition who's supporting the minister.
Right.
But if you have a National Alliance, full-fledged government, then whenever you make your plans, you can ensure that your minister execute these plans.
Right.
But again, my biggest concern is the voters. If they don't come out and vote, then what does that mean? It means the status quo would continue. It means coalitions, and it means the possibilities of jumping ship. Now, let me be honest. December last year, I think when we formed the new coalition, I think it was November, December.
Somewhere around
yes. What was interesting, I went to a panel discussion at the USM, and they were talking about questions asked, yes, before the end of the year, this coalition is going to fall. I said, guys, I said, it's not going to happen. I said, the way things are right now, I don't see any individual in his right mind deciding to jump ship at this moment. And as you can see now, we're almost in the election, and it has remained together.
Yes.
But my thing is, we cannot continue in the way we are, and we must ensure again that As a National Alliance, we are called the National Alliance-led government, and that's exactly how it is. We are getting things done. We are accomplishing things in 9 months, Joanne. If you look at our record, we have accomplished a lot of things in 9 months. There were candidates on this program before me. I'm sure they mentioned some of the issues.
Yes.
My thing is, I want us to ensure that the people go out or come out and vote. 4,000 votes is 4 seats. To get 8 seats, you need 8,000 votes. To get 10 seats, you need about 10,000 votes. It means about 50% of the come out and vote for a National Alliance.
You have been on the campaign trail, I know. We were talking
yes.
just before getting on the camera.
Yes.
And what are some of the issues that the people are being faced with, why they're saying they are not voting? Because you need to get to the bottom of it.
You know what's interesting? People are concerned about the basic things. Everybody cannot be rich, and I believe people understand that fact. But you're hearing proper wages, proper benefits, affordable housing, proper health care, the basic necessities. We look at the income, the minimum wage, and that's a matter, Joanne, I think that that's unfortunately motions were passed to look at a living wage, And I'm saying right now, there are persons who are part of the coalition, and I don't see them really focusing on that. Okay, but the National Alliance, that is our focus. Why? Because the fact is, I was in a home today. This young man he's married, he has 6 children.
6.
Minimum wage. How can he live on that? Curacao, back in about 2008 or 7, when I was part of this Antilles Parliament, they did a survey. And they said for a family of 3 to live on Curacao, the income had to be 2,500 guilders. Can you imagine St. Martin?
Yes.
Right now, the minimum wage is much less than that. So I'm saying, let us not look at the minimum wage. Let's look at a living wage. That's number one. Secondly, the matter of health care. You know, we are talking about the general health care insurance, but so far it is somewhere in the books. It's not being finalized and so on. And I'm sure there are reasons why. But at the same time, persons who are not insured, if they get sick on St. Martin, then they still become part of our medical infrastructure, and it costs the taxpayers more money. So we're saying there are persons here who are willing to pay on their own, Joanne, for the medical insurance. I'm saying include them in the whole thing, because the more you broaden it, the better it is for us where that's concerned. Now the pension is another issue also. Somebody said, let us increase the pension to 1,800 guilders. That's
non-taxable too.
Non-taxable. Now I'm saying, okay, fine. Where does the money come from? Taxes, fine. Okay, where's the compliance? I don't know if you know, I was really, let me put it this way, I was very harsh on the issue of the 100 million guilders with the medical university and so on.
Yes.
Of course, went to courts, and that didn't materialize. But right now, we have a tax office, and the minister mentioned it, which lacks a lot when it comes to training and so on and upgrading. As a matter of fact, today I called the office and I heard the same that I heard in the past. Understaffed, not trained, equipment and so on. So I'm saying if we want to ensure that we want to increase the pension to 1,800 guilders, then the money has to come from somewhere.
Somewhere.
And it has to come from those who are paying the taxes, but of course those who are also complying, because if you have 30–40% compliance, then you got a problem. The old people, Joanne, the older folks, I'm a pensioner myself, but anyhow, they should not have to be fighting to live on pennies. And
after working so hard. Yes.
After investing. One thing I have to be clear for sure is that is not everyone will get the same, because of the fact depends how much you put into the fund. But at the same time, there are certain things should be done for them where it can ease the burden on them, you know. And I mentioned one time, I said, look, if you look at the income, because some pensioners have businesses, some have rental income and so on, would I tax them? Yeah, but not the same like others, because there's a certain amount of money they're making. But at those making, come on, I mean, not even $300–400 a month, can't even pay their rent. What do you do with those? And then we have a system where if you live with your children, then, I mean, they're supposed to take care of you, and therefore you're not going to get your full pension. All those things have to be changed, because the fact is, if I put into the fund all those years, I must be able to get a return for what I invested. I must be able to enjoy my golden years instead of figuring exactly, well, how do I get money to pay this bill? How do I buy food to put on the table? How do I pay my medical bills? I went to the pharmacy some time ago for medication. And when I got there, I was told, this not covered, that's not covered, this not covered. I said, wait a minute. I said, I can afford to pay for it. I said, but what about the pensioner or the small man? How would they pay for it? they have no idea that these certain medications are no longer on the list of the SCV and saying, no, this has been made public, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because the fact is, even sometimes the doctor, him or herself, they're prescribing these things, then they tell you, but I didn't know. I said, well, then you should know. So I'm saying, all these things are important if a pensioner is not making a proper income, can be allowed to get medical coverage where these medications are covered by us who are working, we who are paying the taxes. I said something some time ago, and some people didn't like it. I said, look, I am working now. Let me pay a higher premium for those who are not working, because tomorrow I'm going to benefit myself also.
Exactly.
And some people couldn't understand it because the fact is they're looking at, I'm going to pay out more, yes, but tomorrow you're going to benefit, you know what I mean? So these things I think are very important. But my passion, Joanne, is I would say one of my passions is immigration.
Okay.
Yes.
I know you've highlighted a lot of issues.
Yes.
But since we became country in 2010, you've been a parliamentarian.
Yes, of course.
What are some of the things that you have achieved being a parliamentarian?
Let me say this. Achieved, I would say, put in the pipeline.
Okay.
Because once they realize what they have us doing as, not what they have us, what they say our role is as parliamentarians is legislation. Joanne, everybody should understand, it's not everybody, but people sometimes don't have any idea as to the issue of legislation. We have the short-term contract. They call it a 6 months contract. It is not 6 months, it's a short-term because you have 3 months contract, you have 4 months contract. We have initiated that back in 2011. I've been on the leadership of Mr. William Mann at the time as a member of Parliament. And we're in 2016. The minister before this of Labour properly chopped it up in pieces and so on and wanted to come with a different version altogether. And we said, no, I'll let it go back to the Socio-Economic Council and make sure that what we as National Alliance put in there remain there.
Right.
Our issue is this. We are not saying that you can do it with a short-term contract. But the fact is you cannot have an individual who work with a company that is a prominent company, 6 months, send him or her home 3 months, bring them back 6 months, they can never become permanent.
No.
And this is the
unfair.
thing. And we are talking about the abuse of it.
Yeah.
Because if you are building a home, Johnny, your home going to take 4 months. Yeah, no, for instance, I'm talking for instance, let's say you want somebody to build a home for you. And you're going to pay a contractor. You give him a contract for 4 months because that's the time you're going to take to complete the house. But a casino, a store, those places are open, let me say 24/7, except for, of course, certain holidays.
But you wouldn't be able to get a mortgage because of the break of contract.
Exactly. And that is why I heard one of the members of Parliament say is going to come back to the table again. I have asked about it because the fact is, it went to different councils and it was kind of difficult to find exactly where it was. But I understood right now from the President of Parliament is going to come to Parliament, and I'm happy with that because the fact is, it has to be finalized. 5 years have gone by. And you ask me, what have you accomplished? And those are the issues. Making laws are not as easy as people think.
Right.
It takes time. It goes to different councils. Come back, you got to make adjustments and so on. Motions, I think, that have been passed are the ones we got to take up right now. I listened to someone today on the radio, and I basically agree to a certain extent where when a motion is passed, it should not be that it's stuck in the office of a civil servant or the desk of a minister. The one of the living wage is stuck somewhere. The one with the garbage bags is stuck somewhere. There's one that I think was talked about, the one with when employees or when companies change and so on, that you don't lose your benefits. Those are motions. And I hope my wife's not listening right now, but she told me, she said, where are your motions? I said, sweetheart, I said, it's not a emotion. I said the emotions that are there sufficient. We got to pick them up right now and push them through because they are not motions that are political. They involve the social, economic development of the people of St. Martin, and that's where my passion is. If a people does not benefit in the country, then you have chaos. And if you look after the last 30 years, Joanne, even worldwide, the income of the middle income earners has dropped.
Yes.
When I say drop,
it's dwindling. It's dwindling.
The expenses have increased and it has remained stagnant. And I'm trying to understand, and that is why sometimes some businesses think I'm their enemy. But I'm asking this question. Government sets a minimum wage, right? But it does not mean you as an employee can't pay above that. We actually don't pay below. But today that person is being paid below, you know? And what bothers me is that governments before, and I'll be honest, we have not been in office as long as other governments.
You would like to be too.
We would love to be. And these issues, we want to address them, because the fact is, it is good to talk about things. You know, I can tell you all kind of things, but when it comes to executing now, that's where it counts. And I want to pull in all those businesses who don't understand that if you keep underpaying Joanne, it means she can't pay her bills properly, she can't pay her rent properly. It means you put her in a very difficult situation. And then what happens? You come to the point where persons start to get frustrated and angry, like we have a lot of them today.
Yes.
And Joanne, I can tell you, we have a lot of angry people in St. Martin, and they have a right to, because why? We as politicians, because of not understanding our role, we have made a mess of things. And they said you shouldn't talk about the past. You have to talk about the past, because today you are the soul. You are the complete total. You are the sum of your choices that you made in the past. And because of government in the past not doing what I have to do, we today know
it's affecting you today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the National Alliance, we need to accomplish these things, but we need to have the full mandate.
How do you convince the people when you go out there then? When you go and you meet an angry person and, you know, you're telling them, well, you know, the reason I would like you to vote for the National Alliance is because we want to accomplish more for you, the people of St. Martin. And this person is just being angry. How do you first cool down the person and then try to convince them that they should go out and vote?
The main thing is, number one is this: listen to them. Let them vent their frustration. You know, if sometimes you want to defend yourself as a politician, say, well, I just came this and I didn't have time. No, no, no. You listen to them talk, you know what I mean? And by them telling exactly how they feel, exactly how to approach them. The fact is, we cannot tell them anything new. You can't, because what I've heard in the past is what they want to see take place, but then the fact is they've not seen it.
Right.
In our defense, and I'm saying National Alliance defense, and I believe it's a good one, is the fact is we have not had that full 4-year term.
Never.
I mean, look, let me use this term. I put my head on the block for the National Alliance on the leadership of William Marlin, that if we are given that full 4-year term, you'll see a tremendous change in St. Martin. We are socially minded. We are people minded. We are people conscious. And it has been proven again, as I said, over the years, that under William Marlin, we have accomplished much. But 9 months, only 9 months, gave us 4 years. And as I said when I told my friend Lisa Alexander before February 9th, because she was saying there will be elections February 9th, I said, Lisa, there will be no elections in February 9th. And I said that once we get into office, we will not be out anymore as a full-fledged National Alliance. I'm not talking about a coalition, but I'm talking about full-fledged National Alliance. Is it possible? Everything is possible once you put your mind to it. Whatever you say, whatever you believe within yourself, and you act on it, it must take place. And I'm looking at National Alliance. 10 would be beautiful. All right. I'll settle for 8, you know. And but to have the full mandate in order to achieve, to complete, to do the things that we've been hearing for the last 15, 20 years, and to say, well, because of us being there and the people's support, we have accomplished that which the people want. Because our country is known by the way it treats its poor. And Red St. Martin has a lot of people who are going through a difficult time. And I think it's time for them now. They themselves have to decide who they want to be their leader, who they want to manage this country.
Well, George, time has run out on us so quickly. But before we leave, I want you to tell the people who you are again, what number you are on the list, and why they should vote for you.
My name, again, is George Pantophlet. I'm number 3 on the National Alliance list. And why should they vote for me? 3 all. 3 all means, 3 for all means inclusion of all people. Joanne, I don't care where you were born. As long as you live on St. Martin, yes, as long as you benefit on this island, whatever it is, the government must include you. Those who are born here, those who are naturalized, who are, whatever nationality you are what you call a citizen, or you're a resident of this country, and you must benefit also.
Yes.
If everyone benefit, then of course, you know, St. Martin will be a better place. Again, number 3 National Alliance list. There are 22 members, but of course, number 3 is the one that includes all.
Okay, George, thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
And much success on September 26th.
26th, that's right, yes.
Okay, well, folks, hope you got some education there again from candidate number 3 on the National Alliance list. That's Mr. George Pantophlet. Another edition of In the Hot Seat. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back around again some other time. So you stay tuned. Keep on looking at us in the hot seat. Bye for now. I'm Joanne Lewis.